No, Shadi first off, let's look at SAE USD line chart and see a possible drop in after a volatile Friday following unemployment data release for the close of the month. Market saw a lot of volatility and would like to look at 4 hours to see the price action and possibly look at direction if there are other sell opportunity along the line. So we like to look at our demand and supply strategy, and we also see where structure was broken. So we look back to see the trend has been a very bullish trend, and we do like to see the possible areas where structures are broken. So we have here support structure, and this support structure is broken by further uptrend, and this is a retest. So we also have here a break of a structure, support structure. Price came down here. This is a retest. These are retests to this broken structure after price made an uptrend. This is also a retest. This is also a retest. So as it continues to make uptrend, a retest to a broken roof. So we're also trying to see if we can catch it. It's like a falling knife. It is possible to catch based on the trend strategy. So we are we are looking at the trend from the roof and from the bottom. You can see the structure. You can see the structure clearly. You can see the structure clearly. You can see it clearly. So we have here, you can see the structure we have here, support structure, break of the support structure, break of horizontal support structure. This, sorry, horizontal resistance structure. This is a resistance structure broken by this uptrend. Price came down, retested, and came down, broke the structure again. And this is a retest candle. If you take this line chart out, you're going to see a retest at this level. But for purpose of clarity, what we are trying to see is where ROS becomes SR, where SR becomes ROS. So you see, price has changed from trading from demand to supply after the break of structure. So we switch from officially from demand to supply based on this price action. So everything here now is on supply because it's trading below the line. And for every time price has touched the roof, it translates into a sell. So on that note, it becomes a psychological ascending trend line where we look up to price touch into the area of supply and it sells based on ascending trend line rule. So the market is heavily bullish. So we must take note that every time price comes to the roof, it's a massive sell. So we develop that conclusion based on what price is doing after two touches. Then we look subsequently if when price enters the zone, the characteristics is the same sell. So we have here sell structure. We have here again our return. So these 2 points and with this resistance structure, it's enough for us to get our ascending trend line and hold it responsible for future drop in price. And we'll have to see if it has done significantly well in holding price. So when the price return here, it also held price actively after two touches forming a triple top, 1, 2, 3 top, and price has dropped. So we come here again and see what it has done. Although this is not within the zone, but on technical, it depends on your risk appetite. If you create a zone to this, that's okay. But we look at it when it's approximately close. And if you take your line chart out, you will see weak. There will be a weak, a 4 hour weak rejection touching this ascending trend line. So we're going to change the color to red. Change the color to red. So let's watch it and see what she does from here. Then from the bottom, we have a dynamic support structure where for every time price has touched the floor, it translates to a buy. We also need to get it so that we'll see what we'll make out of it. So from the bottom and from the so this forms our floor. So now we have a floor and a roof. We have a floor and a roof. So this makes our floor. So let's make a zone out of this. So now we have a floor and a roof. So we are complete. So we have a floor and a roof. With that being said, so this becomes our roof, this becomes our floor. On the floor, we expect that every time price touches the floor, it's a buy. And not just ordinary buy and hold. And on the roof, whenever price touches the roof, it's not just sell, it's sell and hold. The reason is because the market has developed a channel, a bullish ascending channel. So you want fulfillment that if price touch the roof, it should get to the floor. If price touch the floor, it should get to the roof before you exit. So that is why I say it's execute and hold. When you place a sell, you hold. When you place a buy, you hold. For example, after price establishing these 2 points that gave birth to the ascending trend line for the roof and these two for the floor. So on technical, it makes sense that if price returns to the roof and you're on sell, you cannot exit until price returns to the floor. And on the floor, when you back to the floor and you pick a buy idea, you cannot exit until price gets to the roof. And price has gotten to the roof and is doing its thing. Now price is at 50% retracement. By close of Friday, over 500 pip drop. That brought this place to 50% retracement. So on that, we need to look at, will price return back to test the roof? Because oftentimes price does not just drop automatically. It may come down here and still do something like this. It might still go back again and retest the roof again before touching the floor. But we cannot assume that the trade will still go up to touch the roof before coming down. A move back into the roof will be in the zone of 2,800 per ounce of gold. So what we expect here is to look at the structure to see if we stand a chance. And we look at parameters that if those parameters are violated, then it gives us a further indication that price wants to touch the floor. So this line chart strategy, it's more like it gives you a long-term buy-sell perspective instead of jumping, jump out, jumping, jump out, jumping, jump out. You can't. That trend doesn't work well, and it doesn't give you the accuracy and the long-term reading you expect. So it's applicable to every other pair: gold, copper, silver, aluminium, USD, Euro USD, is to look at market from this perspective. Look at it from a broader roof and from a broader floor. So that when you enter a buy, you allow the market to touch the roof and let it continue to do its impulse correction thing until it gets to the roof. So on technical, I can also show you how to exit the roof even without watching the trade. So what we have here now is look at the price after we establishing a two roof and a two floor. So on technical, the market has a structure now. With these two formations, we have a roof and a floor. So one of the characteristics that gives a market a clear formation and structure is its ability to demonstrate a roof and a floor in at least 4 hours time frame. 4 hours time frame, 3 hours time frame preferable. And if on daily you have a daily structure, that is also okay. So if you have a daily roof and a daily floor, you hold on to it. The idea is to let price, when it hits the roof, let it return to the floor. When it gets to the floor, let it get to the roof. From the roof, it gets to the floor. It makes a whole point. Look at the distance price travel from here to here to complete the floor. And when price got to the floor, an ascending trend line, an uptrend shoot, impulse, it got again correction. So for every time price touches the roof, that is the allowed correction time. And if you look here, this didn't touch the roof. That was why the trend continued. This very stop did not touch the roof. That is why it continued. If it had touched the roof, it would have dropped like this did. When this touched the roof, it dropped. But this didn't touch the roof, so it continued. So when we create a broader channel, especially 4 hours time frame, we need to allow price touch the roof and get to the floor. So on this now, we have here as another roof, and we have a break or structure of this roof. What roof is this? A resistance structure. And we can see that there are candles that try to breach this zone. So what we are going to do now is to see, all we are saying is when we can get ready next uh, for the next sell opportunity. So after price making this double bottom stuff, we like to see if price is going to break out from this structure. A breakout from this structure sets the market up for a broader sell continuation. So if this happens, we'll be looking out for going more shorts. So this is what we have, and we look at it, the resistance structure. You see the structure is broken by price coming down. After the breakout of the structure, a significant drop is this one. Price come down to retest it. So the 1, 2, 3 has formed another ascending trend line, acting as a dynamic resistance. So this becomes what we should look out for. That in the future, if this is violated, then we can see that price will move to complete the channel. So for now, price is not getting to the floor. For it to get to the floor, there needs to be break of structure. Price has to break up from here, then retest, then we get to the floor. And if we get to the floor and we decide to mess the floor up, then it's going to be something like this. So we use the floor as impulse to sell lower. And this time it's going to be more massive. It's going to be more massive, where we'll have a breakout of this descending trend line that is retested to contend with. If that happens, we have a breakout of structure here. A clear breakout of structure. So if that happens, this might be the next opportunity for us. So a descending trend line, so price breakout from a 4 hours breakout of structure. So that 4 hours breakout of structure, you can see resistance touch 1, resistance touch 2, resistance touch 3, price drop, came down, they broke the structure. So price will come down here to retest the structure. This is line chart strategy. So this line chart strategy points out where structure is broken and where it's retested. Now you see when price came down here, it respected it, giving us right to connect with the previous high. And price returned again, and the close of Friday rejected this level. So this is a strong support level. So on this level, we expect that when price returns here, it should do the right thing. It should do the right thing. So if we break this structure, we're watching out for the break of this structure. Once the structure is broken, then we look for a possible retest of the line chart. Move again. Once it gets to here, then you pair it with your RSI divergence. You will see that break of structure too on RSI, especially on 1 hour RSI divergence strategy. Then once you come here, you will see a sell coming down to retest a broken descending trend line. It will come here to retest it. That's what we expect using this strategy. So it's quite orthodox. It's quite orthodox. It's quite orthodox. It's not normal. It's not normal. It's not normal to what they tell you, but it is what it is. So if you understand it based on using the demand and supply strategy and mindset, it will put a whole lot into consideration. So you see, we developed the roof and we developed the floor. So we have to just use this, and that is what it is. So this is the structure developed by Shabby FS to track both performance. You can see the roof, you can see the floor, and price has hit the roof. It has hit the roof, and if price returns again to test the roof the second time, then it will be in the zone of 2,818 into 2,819. Then now rush down to complete this floor. So for here now we have a strong support structure after the break of the supply roof. This is a supply roof, the resistance structure broken, and price came retested it in an ascending trend line and came down again. We have two touches establishing this point. So let's get it right so it can be visible for anybody to see. First touch, and there you have the second touch. So these are things that we watch in the strategy. So the both touches gave us an ascending trend line that will connect it with the previous high. So we want a breakout from this structure, a possible retest to complete the roof. And ladies and gentlemen, this is a liquidity build up on ascending trend line. A lot of people have had a very strong and long-term bias, and it going up. So price will come down here, break this structure, break this ascending trend line. A breakup from this ascending trend line will further push price to come and retest this roof, just like we had here. You also see here, is a roof, is a resistance structure, a resistance structure, a breakout of the structure. What did price do? Price came down to retest what? A breakout from the descending trend line. This is what you get. Look at the structure. Can you see the roof? You look at the roof clearly. You will see it clearly. It's clear and evident. It's a resistance structure, breakout of a resistance structure, price return on retest. So on technical, SAU will continue to move. It's not coming down because what it did was to come to retest a broken resistance structure one, resistance structure two. So let us also note it and see it. So we will continue to watch if price can manage to break and switch from demand to supply. So this technically returns a good buying into demand. The price was falling after a previous high. When price got to this place, everyone rejoiced that gold was going to drop, gold was going to crash. But however, the market quickly changed bias from downtrend to uptrend by breaking the descending trend line. First touch, second touch gave us what? A descending trend line. Break of the first touch, second touch returns the market from supply phase to demand phase. So on technical, Friday sets gold again on demand for another wave of rally. So if you think price is going to drop beyond this, then yes, you might be right in what you are thinking, but there are two things to gauge. We have a floor. I will change the color of the floor. So the floor, let's make the floor um let's make it green. So watch if price manage to break from this support structure and returns to supply. Let us say we have a case like this, that price returns and break this structure. If it breaks this structure, then we want it to break the green line, then insert a sell uh, market. So I don't see that happening so fast. I don't see it happening so fast because the market is following the structure. But however, if it comes to this ascending trend line, there's a very high probability it's going to break the ascending trend line. The probability is very high. It will break the ascending trend line to come down here to retest a breakout. A broken resistance structure becomes support. So we have here first touch, second touch, third touch, fifth, sixth, breakout of descending trend line. This is a descending trend line. I expect gold to come here to retest it. In a similar fashion, let's look out for other break of structure which are likely to also bring price if the bearish impulse is not controlled. This is another scenario, another case scenario we have here, a beautiful break of structure. So we have here resistance structure, resistance structure, resistance structure, breakout of resistance structure, retest one, retest two, and the price has left. And when price return here, it returned here on confluence. We have double confluence. We have another support structure here. So when price return, it becomes a descending trend line meet an ascending trend line. That gives us more confluence and starts a buying potential. So we have a structure here. There's a weak candle that dropped here. When this chart is returned to normal chart, there's a weak candle at this level. So we have here support structure, giving us an ascending trend line. And coincidentally, when price returned here, it formed double bottom, bullish price action. Came down, retested the neckline, and price left. So we look at it again. When price came, it formed double top on 4 hours time frame. After the double top, which also tapped into the supply roof. The supply roof build up from here. You can see the price action all the way from July. You can see it. Resistance structure, break of resistance structure, retest, break of a support structure, retest. There's a candle here. This candle is a weak at this level. So when price return here, we tested the roof, retested the roof, retested the roof, retested. So we want to change the color of the roof to differentiate it from the floor, so that in the future we look at it with a broader mindset. We look at it with a broader mindset. So we change it to purple. So if price will continue to drop, we want price to first of all switch from the demand floor where it is now to supply roof by breaking down the resistance